welcome back to Legacy Loading. This is episode 10 featuring the one and only James English.
Jamie
English.
Jam.
What's up, everyone? How are you?
Dude, yeah, what, you want to start with how you are? Because
I'm all right. No, I'm good. Like, I'm literally straight off a plane from Miami. You probably, by now you saw like the stories and everything, but
yeah, man, I feel bad for you.
That was a business trip.
Oh yeah?
Content. Yeah.
Looked like it.
Business trip. But I'm here. I made it. And very special pod going down.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
is.
It is due time that we had Jam on the pod.
Yeah.
What
I'm not even
the
gonna
hell
say,
is in this colorful substance? Like, what exactly am I drinking right now?
Off?
I would not like to. I don't think I can pronounce half of these.
Give me the top 3 ingredients.
Water, citric acid, sodium citrate. That's not that bad. Citric stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Glycerol ester of rosin. I don't know if that's too good for you, but
Right. So James, you just got your IG back. It'd been gone for a little while. We won't name any names, but how does it feel to have it back? When did you get it back? And what light would you like to shed on this subject? That's what the people want to know.
Well, we'll bury the hatchet. I'm not going to get into too much of why it got deleted or anything like that. But long story short, let me take a sip of my ester of rosin. I started by initially trying to get it back with going through like the legal, not legal, but like the
proper
way to do it, which was you file it, and then they say once you file it, it says you should have your account back within 24 hours, which is a fucking lie. Yeah. And it's like, and so basically what they do is someone who doesn't like you that has a verified account or knows someone with a verified account or for whatever reason has pull at Instagram, knows an admin, whatever, that has a burner account that is verified.
Which you can pay for. You can
pay for it. Yeah. And if you know someone at Instagram, you probably don't have to pay them all that much because they just hit a button and you got the blue check. So they essentially take advantage of Instagram's bad customer service because they know that Instagram, there's really no human review because they just don't have the manpower or the time. So what they'll do is they'll go on this verified account. They'll change the profile picture to match yours. They'll change the name and the bio to match yours. And they'll change the bio to be yours exactly word for word. And then they will report your account from the verified account for impersonation. Yeah. And since there's no human review, obviously if a human were to review it, they would say, oh, the unverified account's been around for years. This random verified account just changed all their info. The verified account is clearly the fake one. But because there's no human review, just an algorithm scans both pages and says, oh, these seem to match up. We're going to give precedence to the verified account, and it auto bans the unverified account for impersonation. Mm-hmm.
Dude, so fucked up. You woke up to that?
Well, I woke up to my second account being banned first, which is James Spanish, and it's still gone. And then
James Spanish.
I caused some problems on James English, and I woke up the next day to that account being gone.
So you had zero.
Then I had zero.
So there's a
then I
point in
had
time
to
you
make
had zero Instagram presence.
Essentially, yeah.
Except I mean,
right after James Spanish got deleted, I made James Italian, and then I plugged James Italian on my main account before my main account got deleted. So people, like the core followers, still followed me on James Italian. But anyway, long story short, I needed to get my account back, and I tried going through the proper route at first, and there was just no headway being made there. And I could tell, I mean, shout out to Tristan. He's someone who works at Gorilla, and that's my supplement sponsor. He was really trying to get me in touch with an admin at Facebook because Facebook owns Instagram. But I could just tell he had me on this screen sharing Zoom call, and he was trying to get me in touch with the admin, and I could just tell we were grasping at straws. Like it's very hard to actually get in touch with a person that is at a high enough level in Facebook that they can actually help you, because they keep passing it off to someone else who passes it off to someone else. And it's just this big clusterfuck circle that just goes in cycles.
So what happened? How'd you finally get through?
Then I decided to pay someone who...
Money talks.
Yeah, money does talk. And a little bit of money doesn't talk loud enough, because I only paid someone a little bit of money, basically one of the lowest rates that I saw. I decided to go with them, obviously, because I didn't want to pay out the ass. And essentially, all they do is they just spam unban requests at Facebook. But that doesn't actually do much, because 99% of unban requests, they don't even get fucking looked at.
Right.
So after this guy said 48-hour turnaround time, trust me, bro. And the thing is, the reason I went with him is because other people that had gotten their accounts deleted vouched for him. Okay. And people that I knew and trusted vouched for him. And after 2 weeks, it still wasn't back.
Did you get your money back?
Yes, I did. Okay. So then Gary, the owner of Young LA, he was starting to get really stressed out, because he was like, as long as your account's gone, I'm losing money. I'm stressing about it. Yeah. I want your account back just for your sake too. So I know this guy, he charges $10,000, which was more than the $2,500 that I paid the first guy. But I'd really trust this guy. He will get your account back within 48 hours max, but it's 10 grand. I will pay for it. So Gary, shout out to Gary. Shit. He actually covered the cost.
Shout out
because I wasn't willing to pay that. I was just ready to kiss my account goodbye, because I was like, damn, honestly, like, I probably would have done it eventually, but I was just stressing out about it. So Gary's like, I'll cover it, but go through this guy. So eventually I went through this guy, and I don't know if he wants his socials shared or anything like that. So yeah, I just won't, but
no, it's definitely worth it though.
He actually got it back 36 hours after I sent the money. My account was back.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
dude, it's scary. Yeah. That's your livelihood. Like, I know it's just an app, Instagram, whatever. Like, people go through accounts all the time, but like, that's how you make your money. That's how you promote your sponsors. That's how you promote Young LA, Gorilla, everything.
Yeah. It made me like, losing the account made me realize a couple things. For one, it made me realize, like, holy shit, all of this could just be at the snap of a finger. If someone doesn't like you, it could just be gone. And it also made me realize, like, because, you know, you were trying to help me out with, like, maybe getting some brand deals, stuff like that. And these brands are obviously asking for my Instagram analytics. And it's pretty hard to tell a brand, oh, I used to have 200,000 followers. You just have to trust me on that. And I used to get this engagement, and I used to get these insights. A brand is going to be like, dude, fuck off. We don't care. Like, what are you currently getting? So then I started to, because at first I was like, whatever, my core followers are still going to follow me, which is true. They did. And my YouTube views didn't go down. My James Italian started really picking up, and people were finding out that was my new account.
That showed the cult. That shows that you're real true followers.
Exactly.
Like 20K, like that. Snap a finger.
Yeah. And cool. it got the new account got 20,000 followers within like a couple of days. It was like 48 hours. I had 20K. But long story short, I started to realize, like, having a big follower count does actually matter. It's not just about the cult. It's not just about the core followers. Those are the ones that matter the most. Yeah. But in terms of like getting brand deals, just like, I mean, especially brand deals, like these companies need to see big numbers. They need to see high insights. They need to see high follower count. And that's when I started to realize, like, this actually could affect my business, even though at first I thought, like, this doesn't really even matter. And Gary even told me, your code has been used like a lot this month. Yeah. Like, even with my account being gone, after like 2 weeks of it being gone, I was still having a really good month. So it's like people were still using my code, but just in terms of like brand deals and stuff, that's where I started to get worried.
Do you think, so I remember there was a story that you put up when you were talking about some of this stuff where you were saying you were not pleased, rightfully so, with Instagram, and you were saying YouTube you think is more for you long term. Do you still think that that's really where you want to put your time and energy?
Yeah, YouTube is just really a different creature than Instagram. Instagram is kind of based around short attention span, similar to TikTok. TikTok's even worse, and you can kind of see the evolution or the de-evolution of people's attention span by looking at what new social media companies start to blow up. And like, first it was Instagram, and that's like short attention span, but then it's TikTok. And TikTok to me really resembles how short people's attention spans have become. And I think it's because of this like technology age where it's like, you watch a TikTok and it's almost so fast that you barely even had a chance to understand what the premise of it was. Yeah. It's like half a second here, and then it cuts to another scene, another scene, another scene, another scene. TikTok's done. And it's like 15 seconds to grab someone's attention, hold it just for 15 seconds because that's all people really have time to pay attention
that's
to.
That's why they say like the first like 3 seconds of a TikTok is the most important because like, it's either you're gonna keep watching or you're just gonna scroll.
And that's why I don't like TikTok personally, because it's all about just like, it's the most primitive, like, I don't like this swipe. I don't like this swipe. Ooh, this one funny. I watch, you know, but with YouTube, the people that see, because on a YouTube thumbnail, you also see the runtime of the video. And if someone is already willing to see that it's 30 minutes long and they still decide to click, they're going to watch it.
People you don't have appreciate to the longer form.
Exactly.
Form
so those are the types of people that I'm trying to reach out to more.
Those are the real true fans who are going to use your code and support you and follow you in anything you do.
I think this is a good like teaching lesson though for people who are getting into social media, for people who are on TikTok and doing well. Like everyone knows TikTok is the number one platform to blow up your follower count, but everyone also knows that TikTok followers don't translate to brands. They don't translate to sales because at its core, TikTok is mostly like this sort of skit based voiceover thing where it's not even your voice. It's not even your personality. It's like this sort of copy paste thing. So like, how do you expect people to support you when your real personality is almost very rarely shown? That's why YouTube has always been the king. If you want to grow your personal brand, if you want people to ride with you, buy your products or whatever.
And it's like anything worth having is gonna require the most work. So if something's too good to be true, it probably is. And you getting 100,000 followers on TikTok in like 2 days because you made some posts that were 15 seconds long that are entertaining purely for the fact that they're entertaining and has nothing to do with you, but it's more so just what you're doing or whatever, then it's probably too good to be true. You really think all those 100,000 people are going to go use your code, buy your program, follow you for you? No, of course not. And that's why I've said like one YouTube subscriber equates to like literally 100 TikTok followers in my view.
Sure.
YouTube
like
is the biggest,
the worth of it.
It's the biggest investment too, because you could get 100K on Instagram with your iPhone. And you can get 1 million followers with your iPhone on TikTok, but YouTube, you really do got to invest into editing software and a camera, obviously.
Yeah.
Editors.
But I think even that's like, there's a guy back when I used to smoke, there was a guy named Custom Grow 420. And if anyone knows who that is, please comment right now. Do you know who that is? What up, YouTube, what up? It's Custom Grow 420 coming at you. Every single intro. I have the whole intro memorized. And he got 1 million subscribers smoking weed on his camera on an iPhone like 7. And it just goes to show that like you can get all the drones, you can get all the camera equipment that you want. And people like having a formula to something. And there's something very formulaic about if I invest X amount of money into YouTube, it has to grow. So if I invest $7,000 into a camera and $2,000 into a drone and another $1,000 into a mic, then obviously my YouTube must grow. But at the end of the day, you're going to get absolutely lapped by someone who has 10 times better content, but is filming on an iPhone. Like the amount of times that I vlog on my iPhone because I just don't happen to have a camera around. I do that a lot, especially if I'm at the grocery store or if I just happen to go out and there happens to be something going on that's content worthy, but I just don't have my camera on me. I'll just pull out my phone. Like, excuse me, the camera and video quality on modern phones is so good.
That's crazy.
That
Really
it's as
insane.
good as like professional cameras were even 6-7 years ago.
Not even.
Right? So people, like, obviously if you're filming something that is getting views due to its cinematic value, that's when you need to worry about the kind of equipment that you have. But if you're filming something that is less based on its cinematic value and more based on its entertainment value, people don't really care what your aperture is. They don't care about the blurry background effect. They don't care about the color science of the video. They don't care about how crisp everything is. An iPhone will work perfectly for something like that. So like I would say arguably someone like Derek, More Plates, More Dates, could have gotten just about the same following that he has if he had been filming on an iPhone. Now in his case, it's much easier for editing purposes if he has an actual camera because it doesn't have a recording limit. It's not going to overheat. It's not going to randomly crash. But hypothetically, if this didn't have a recording limit or if it never overheated, I think Derek's sit down informative videos, like they're really not that
What does he
high
use?
quality.
What camera?
Dude, he uses, or last time I checked, he was using a Sony A6500, which is like, it's
insane.
a good camera, but the one that I brought here to vlog on is better.
I was gonna say you and Sush have like awesome setups for YouTube. I'd say that they're professional setups.
Yeah.
But like it still feels
When you
like
get to that point.
your content's very just like you're just hanging out, you guys. Like it's very organic. It's like you're part of the day in the life. Of you
Yeah.
guys.
I mean, really the only reason we even got the current cameras that we have, which is the A7S III, the only reason that we got that is for the low light because we vlog a lot when it's nighttime or
And the flip screen.
in clubs. Yeah, the flip screen too. So we just simply didn't like the fact that clips kept looking grainy on our old camera. So we were like, let's invest. We'll split it 50-50 and we'll just film on different days and we'll both share this one camera. So that's the only reason that we got it, was simply for the low light. But besides that, someone like Derek, all his content is like informative.
Yeah.
And I really don't think that he needs, like Derek still comes to me for like camera advice and like microphone advice.
What you're trying to say though is very simply like, if you want to get into this scene, like it's about the content. It's about
you.
What you got. It's about, what makes you unique, and it's about your personality. So focus, like people ask all the time, dude, all the time. I'm sure you get the question, what camera should I start with? What this, what that? No, it's not about that. It's like, what are you providing? What kind of content are you filming? People ask me too, how do I get started? It's like, well, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to do? What do you want your brand to be about? Like start with that and start with your phone, because everyone starts like that.
Yeah.
I have a million DMs. What camera do you use? Like what lens? Like I could tell you, but it doesn't mean like your shit's not gonna look like mine. Like you still got to be yourself. You got to do your own thing, and you got to.
Okay, put it this way. Perfect analogy. I think that someone asking you what camera you use is similar to someone asking a professional bodybuilder what cycle they're on, because if they take this cycle, then they must look like this person.
I'm gonna look like fucking.
But it's
C-Bone.
like there's so much more that goes into it than what cycle you're running. In the same way, there's so much more that goes into it than what camera you're using or what microphone you're using. So,
Agreed.
like, yes, a camera is important, but honestly, you can go get the Sony ZV-1. If you really want a beginner vlog camera, get the Sony ZV-1. And it's like $700. It's all in one. You don't need to buy a lens. It comes with the lens on it. It's a zoom lens. It has decent low light. It's small, portable. I still vlog with the ZV-1 pretty consistently. Like if I'm going into a store, I don't want to carry around, because honestly, it's just kind of weird. Like
walking around with that thing is insane.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't want the looks. I don't want the stares. But a little like handheld little vlog camera, I don't really care about. So I use that thing all the time.
Do you see your content evolving from this sort of vlog lifestyle content to something different, or do you sort of just like the way things are going right now?
I think the only ways that content would really evolve from vlog would be to turn it into either informative content or skit content, right? Because think about it, like what other kinds of videos would you really see me making? Like I'm not probably going to get into cinematic content where I'm making movie like David Laid like, you know, super cinematic, beautiful videos. Not that I don't appreciate them. I actually really do. It's just, I don't think that I have enough cinematic capability to make a cinematic video that's worth watching. But I do know that I have enough vlog capability to make a vlog that's worth watching. And yes, I could do sit down informative videos. I know some stuff about some subjects, but like I kind of do already do that. I just incorporate it into a vlog. Like I'll do a vlog section, a little bit of workout footage, and then Q&A. And that's where people can kind of pick my brain. Or I'll go on Instagram Live and I do Q&A there. Or I'll just throw in like informative content interspersed throughout my vlog. But I like the nature of vlogs. I like the way that they flow. I grew up, well, maybe not grew up, but I binge watched a lot of Casey Neistat. Back in like 2019, I went back and watched almost all of his daily vlogs. And Casey's someone that definitely inspired me a lot early on, because while running his own business and having a kid or kids of his own and having a wife, he filmed and edited a vlog every single day for like over 2 years. And just seeing the amount of work that goes into just making one, much less editing it yourself, is insane to think that he did that. And he actually made a video called something along the lines of How I Manage My Time by Casey Neistat. You can look it up.
I think Mantello literally said this exact same thing.
Oh, really?
Last episode, yeah. Right?
On the pod?
Yeah, Mantello. Remember you said Casey Neistat and you said that exact video?
I don't think I mentioned Casey in last vlog. I did.
No, Mantello did, for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, like he literally, just to come up with an idea every day is insane. Like, think about that. How hard it is for us to come up with 2 videos a week. For me and Marco, like, what are we going to do? Every single day is
that's
insane.
the thing with Casey is he didn't really have to have the greatest video ideas.
It was just
He
cinema.
just-
It was real cinema. It was dope.
It was. And what Casey did that was really successful, that kind of set the standard that no one else had done before, was he combined his knowledge of cinematography with his ability to make good vlogs.
Yeah, you were learning and getting entertained.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, instead of just like filming himself open a door handle and walk into a room, he would walk into the room, set up the camera, walk back out of the room, and then open up the door so you could see third person, him walking into a room. And it would be that quick little cinematic thing, and then it would go right back into vlog. And it's so, you don't really notice it unless you're really looking out for it, but subconsciously it increases the watchability of the video.
It's just so creative. Like, to even think about that is insane.
he was a pioneer for sure. He was the first one to do it like that, and absolutely, I mean, inspired a whole generation, I'm sure.
Let's take it back to your YouTube. So when did that start?
My YouTube started, I made my first video, I think I was 16.
Were you already doing the powerlifting stuff, or were you just like working out?
I was kind of powerlifting. No, I was definitely powerlifting, but I also did like some bodybuilding stuff. I looked up to people like David Lade, Dylan McKenna, Quinn Vitale, like the OG,
New Jersey
the Jersey
guys.
Juice Squad.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't too long after I started my Instagram, I was like, fuck it, I'll make a YouTube video. So I just I don't think I had a single word in it. It was just a workout edit. And I got like 10,000 views on YouTube, which
At the time
was my first ever video. And I was like, damn, that's like proof of concept. And then I kept inconsistently making a few others, and they would get a few thousand views. And then I got to college, and I just started focusing more on like my career, what I thought my career was going to be at the time, which was computer science. I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So I went in for undeclared engineering. And then after a semester, I switched to computer science because of some friends that had made it school that convinced me to do it. And I was good at computer science. Like I had good grades. It came to me pretty intuitively, but I saw David Lade in August of 2017, and then I didn't see him again all the way until the beginning of 2019. So from 2017, he actually main feed posted me, which he didn't need to do. He posted me on his Instagram back in 2017. I was 17 years old, and then I gained like a crazy amount of followers. I jumped from like 3,000 or 4,000 on Instagram to like 8,000 or something. And then I just stopped posting as much, blah, blah, blah. I didn't really make YouTube videos anymore. And in my head, fitness was just my hobby. It was not going to be my career. And then strictly because me and Dave got along so well, I wanted to see him again. It wasn't because I was like, oh, I'm going to turn fitness into a career. I didn't think that I was going to do that at all.
You were a fan of David before you.
Yeah. Before, back in like, probably like 2016
Just
is when I was like
on YouTube. You just came across him, and
yeah, it was back. He was like one of the first and only people that I watched. I didn't watch like a ton of people. I watched a few, but David was like one of the people that I had post notifications on for. Like I would watch every single one of his videos. I was a huge fan.
I'm someone from the outside of this, knowing this Jersey school. Like obviously I know who Dave is, but like it's mostly through how y'all talk about him and stuff. Like how much earlier did he get into this? Because all these people that I thought y'all all came up together, but you're all like, yo, no, David was that guy before. Like how big was Dave before you guys started? Like I'm kind of blown away.
This
by
will tie into my story. So anyway, early 2019, I'm a sophomore in college now, still working hard at computer science. I go and see David again. We take some LSD together and we go on a nice walk.
Back to back LSD stories.
Honestly, like most of the big decisions I made in my life have been a result of an LSD trip. So
first time was with David?
No, the first time I ever took acid was with my old friend Gabe and my ex-girlfriend. And that was, not to sound cliche or whatever, but I think the first time I ever took acid was one of the maybe top 3 most significant experiences in my life.
Change your life, kind of.
Yeah. And the way I see it, because people always ask if they don't want to take acid, they want to know what it's like. So they're like, what is acid like? Acid, LSD, same thing. And the way I see it is like, it adds a new dimension to life that has always been there, but you just haven't really been aware of it. So it's not like it gives you some kind of knowledge or makes you like enlightened, but it gives you a kind of a new view and appreciation for things. Yeah. And the way I see it is like, imagine you've been colorblind your whole life. Life would probably still be pretty good.
Yeah.
And the world would still be beautiful and you could still go about your day-to-day life. But then taking LSD is like seeing color for the first time. And
like everything's still there, but now you're seeing it in a different perspective.
Exactly. Yeah. And it adds a whole new dimension. And, and I almost used the word color, but that doesn't go with my analogy. It adds a whole new dimension to everything. In a better way. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
For disclaimer, for the most part, like let's
sure. Yeah.
I'm a proponent of psychedelics. I've never done LSD before.
Yeah, me either.
I've done mushrooms, but like I do know what the experience you're talking about is, and I've had a generally positive experience as well. And it has
with the mushrooms.
Yeah, for sure. So I would say
I much prefer LSD over mushrooms. I've taken mushrooms maybe 3 times, and it's fun. It's fun. But LSD, for one, it's not something to be treated lightly. I don't like the idea of taking it recreationally. I think you should take it for a purpose. For sure. And it's kind of ironic that I say that because the first time I ever took LSD, I didn't know all that much about it. I took it, like I said, with my friend Gabe and my ex-girlfriend, who I was very close with. I was very close with both of them. And I think that played into why I had such a good experience because me and Gabe, we were like soulmates, like shared everything, trusted each other like crazy. He was like even deeper than just a brother to me. And so when I took acid with him, we were so much on the same wavelength that it made it a very good experience. I can't say if it would have been as good if I was alone. Maybe it would have been kind of scary, but we were just in his room talking. I think my ex-girlfriend like wrote a poem or something like, and it keeps you awake. So we were up until the morning, and the next day I still kind of had that, there's this afterglow effect where you've just seen color for the first time and you hadn't seen it your whole life. So you, all of a sudden you gain this new view and appreciation. And I went home and I remember going into the trip, all we wanted to do was see cool colors and see hallucinations. We were like, oh, this is going to be fun. And when we were on the come up, we were all kind of giggly and like, oh, but as soon as it really hit, it's like we were all just mutually, without having to say it out loud, we realized this was not about hallucinations. This was not about seeing cool stuff. You
were looking for like the visuals, but meanwhile it was like deeper than that.
Yeah. And it's like, no matter how hard we wanted it to just be like a fun kind of ooh, that we're just seeing, we might see cool designs on the walls. It turned into like a very spiritual experience. So
feeling like empathy and like,
I think to like articulate some of the things that you're trying to say is at least in my experience, it's a lot of seeing people for more than just the superficial, seeing people like looking at people, having a deep appreciation and love for the people around you and respect, and just like generally just thinking about things many layers deeper than you're used to. So it really, like, again, the word I use is just a perspective shift for sure. And when you do come out of it, like you do retain a little bit of that as well. Like you do start.
Oh, you definitely do. Sure. Even though you don't feel like you're on acid from then on, you know, once you've experienced it, it's like that experience stays with you. So I remember, like, you know, things that might be kind of weird when you're not on acid are not weird when you are, if you're with someone that you trust, because like you said, things that are normally, they might kind of seem weird. when you're on acid, it's almost like this is petty bullshit. Why do we even care about this? So I remember me and Gabe, my best friend, were like 2 inches away from each other's face, and we were holding each other's faces, and we were like talking to each other, which sober, really fucking weird. If I started doing that to you right now, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? But on acid, we'd already been tripping for like 8 hours, and we would say like a few words to each other, and the other person would immediately know exactly the message that was trying to be conveyed, which normally sober would maybe take 100 words to convey, but it took like 10 words while we were tripping. And like, so it was just like a meeting of the minds. But anyway, long story short, and this will all tie back into David Lade somehow.
I was just picturing that, like you guys holding each other's faces. That's fucking insane.
Yeah. And like, no, we were in underwear too. It seems, yeah, we were actually making out. Yeah. No, it seems super gay if you're not on acid, but if you've taken acid, it's really not gay. I was not thinking about his dick at all, I promise.
It was just like a deep like moment, like
deep.
Connected,
because
like holding each other's faces.
If someone were to have walked in and said, yo, that looks kind of gay, me and Gabe would have just turned at them and been like, who fucking cares? Like, who are you? What are you talking about? You know, like you don't care about that kind of stuff when you're on acid. Like, who cares that we're in underwear? Who cares that we're 2 inches from each other's face? We're best friends. We love each other. Why shouldn't we be 2 inches from each other's face? Is that kind of idea. So I went home and I still had that afterglow effect. I was good enough to drive home.
And you decided to drop computer science.
No, that's not yet. So I came back home, and when we first went into it, I was like, no one can know about this. We can't tell our parents. This is super secret. It's a bad drug. It's 3 letters, LSD. That sounds super hard. We can't tell anyone about this. And I remember the first fucking thing I did when I went home was I told my mom because I was like, I don't feel guilty about this at all. Like, I feel bad that you are disappointed, but I don't feel guilty about what I just experienced. So I called her upstairs and I sat her down, and I kind of like cried. Actually, I definitely cried. And I was like, because I started off not crying, and I'm like, Mom, I'm going to be honest. I took LSD last night. And I just remember her head just like sunk down like this. And she just kind of shook her head. Again? I was 17. Okay. And
then 17. Holy shit.
Yeah. About to turn 18. And then I'm like, I know it sounds bad, but I'm not sorry. And I'm going to explain to you what happened. And I explained it as it was still very fresh in my mind. And by the end of it, she was like, you know what? I'm not happy that you took it, but that actually sounds like a very beautiful experience. So I'm not mad at you.
I was going to say, you're almost like trying to explain to them like how much they're missing out on by not experiencing.
Yeah.
It's almost like you need to try this. Like, I know it sounds fucked up, but like,
I'm super, but truly,
no,
hold on, both of you, listen right now. I do want to say,
we're not condoning doing drugs or anything.
Listen to me. I do want to say that one thing that is kind of how when I first took LSD, I was like, fucking Terrence McKenna, like everyone needs to try this. This is a godsend. And then I saw that a lot of LSD is your mindset going into it, and it's how you are wired as a person. And not to stroke my own wiener here, but I'd say I have a pretty solid head on my shoulders. So I think I do. I actually have a physically large head.
Solid head. Solid stroked wiener.
Yeah. All right. We'll just move on from that. We'll just pretend Joe didn't say that. But I think that's part of the reason is me and Gabe both had and have pretty strong sense of self and a solid outlook
on the same wavelength. You guys had the same experience.
Yes. But my ex-girlfriend, for example, not as much. And I'm not going to get into details because it's personal, but I saw LSD. She kept using it, trying to find something. But the thing about LSD is it's not going to give you something. It's just going to show you what you can do on your own to help you fix whatever you need to fix. And if you don't actually put in that effort, then you're fucked. And so long story short, I've seen LSD turn sour for people and send them kind of into a black hole state where they're like, I don't know what I just experienced, and it scared me.
Like they're searching for, and they're not getting what they want.
Exactly. Yeah. And so now I've switched from this is a godsend and everyone needs to try it to I literally don't pressure anyone to take LSD at all. I will speak very highly about my own experience, and I can confidently say that me and Gabe both had a very good experience. Yeah. But I'm past the stage of convincing anyone to do it, because like it needs to be something that you really want to do on your own and that you think you can handle.
And that's the key. You really need to make sure that you can handle it, because it's one of those things where whatever mindset you have going into it is going to manifest and it's going to enhance. So like if you're looking for something, or you have some fucking demons that you know are in there, like that shit will come out. So you need to really be crystal clear in your head about why you're doing it and what you want to get out of it.
And the people you're doing it with.
100%. Don't do it by yourself. And you should. Look, we've talked about it for 40 minutes at this point.
No, that's fine. It's a good conversation.
If you're gonna do it with someone who's also sober, who can help monitor you guys and make sure that you guys are not gonna lose it. So.
Yeah, and I think there's been people that have said there's no such thing as a bad trip, only an informative trip. I don't really buy that. I think that if you are a very fragmented person and you take LSD, it's going to make you more fragmented. But I think that if you're a strong person who wants to unlock this new dimension, that sounds really condescending, but you just want to see color, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And just gain a new perspective. We'll say that. And you trust yourself and you trust your head, then I would say it's probably a good idea. But if you're doing this because you're like, I'm fucked up and I need a drug to cure me, this is not going to do it. Like,
so what happened with you and Dave?
You need therapy.
When you guys did it, what happened after that?
So anyway, I'd already taken LSD like 10, 15 times at this point. Also, if you are going to take LSD, I would say do a full dose your first time. Don't pussy out and do like a microdose, because you're
I would like to move
tiptoeing into the water
along from LSD.
So
Gymshark.
just do a full dose. So anyway, about LSD, me and Dave took LSD. We took acid, and he's very much on the same wavelength as me. We're not as close as we used to be, but he's definitely still someone that if I like really needed to talk to someone about something deep, I would go to him, because I've had very good conversations with him. And that whole trip, I was there for like a week, and it just kind of showed me even more proof of concept. Like, I can actually do this. I can do fitness, and it's what I thoroughly enjoy doing. I wake up and I look forward to going to the gym. I time my meals around the gym. I thoroughly enjoy lifting. And why would I monetize something that I'm not all that passionate about? I'm good at computer science, and it's fun in the sense that it's intellectually demanding, which is something that I like. I like being intellectually redlined, and there were certain problems in computer science where they'd give you a problem that you have to solve, and it's like, you have to write the code to solve this problem. And it really makes you have to think outside of the box. And, I did enjoy that, but in terms of being extremely passionate about it to the point where it's something that I could see myself looking forward to waking up and doing every day, I wasn't too sure about that. And so I just started kind of doing both. I stayed in school. I was still doing computer science, but I started posting more on Instagram. Dave made an hour-long vlog with me called Mind, Body, Spirit, and it's got like a really psychedelic thumbnail.
The most legendary video of all time.
Yeah, it was so legendary. Real subtle about the psychedelic usage too, right?
But at the time, like when I was watching it back then, you're not even thinking about that. But when you said it in Mockcast, I watched it again.
It's
and
funny because when we uploaded the video, all the top comments were like, "Yo, they definitely did like mushrooms or something." Like,
I didn't think so. I thought you guys were just like young and just doing.
No, there's this one scene where I'm on the ground, and this is during the come up, and I've got a pool stick in my hand in Dave's house, and I'm laying on the ground, and I'm holding the bottom of the pool stick, so the pool stick's sticking up, and I'm just flipping it back.
That's it.
And forth and back and forth on the ground, and Dave is laughing so hard that he like can't catch his breath. He's like dying at this stupid fucking thing that I'm doing.
That has 509,000 views.
Yeah, and
it definitely spiked after Mockcast too, right?
The first, it did.
You brought it back to life,
because I saw some comments on it that have like over 100 likes. They're saying like, "Who's here after the Mockcast episode?"
Yeah.
So so anyway, I started posting more and started doing YouTube again. I made a transformation video, and Dave started taking me. He was like, "Yo, do you want to be my +1 to a Gymshark event in Frankfurt, Germany?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So everything's paid for. So I went to Germany and had a ton of fun there. And I even stood up there and like was shaking hands, and I was surprised that people were coming up, and obviously they were saying hi to Dave first, but then they turned to me and be like, "Oh, James, what's up?" And I only had like 11,000 followers at this point. I was brand new. So I was like, holy shit, people
Back
actually
then, that's
know
big
me.
though. Like 10K was still a big deal back then.
Yeah. And obviously like most of the people knew me because of Dave, but still the fact that people even remembered my name at the time, I was like, it blew, like, I was just like, wow.
So that event really showed you what was possible that you could do that.
It wasn't like a one moment thing. It was just a culmination of YouTube starts picking up, Instagram starts picking up. I'm hanging out with Dave and another LSD experience. I took LSD again after being with Dave.
In Germany?
And no. It was, this was after the Dave trip, but before Germany. And I was thinking to myself, and this had been on my mind a lot recently, was that like, I have a very monotonous life. I do the same thing. I wake up, I go to school, I do all my classes, I come home, I write code for fucking hours, and then I lift. Routine. And like, I need, like, my life is going to pass me by and I'm not even going to realize it until I'm like 30. And then I'm going to be like, oh shit, I haven't done anything. I'm just like sitting in a cubicle writing code. Yeah. So I texted Gabe, my friend, and his girlfriend, and they were moving to Manhattan. And I said, all right, I'll come. Cause they had been trying to convince me and I just couldn't justify it. Cause I'm like, whoa, what would I even do there? But then I, had that LSD experience, started to keep bringing it up. And, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it. I don't know what I'm going to do there, but I will do it. And I moved to Manhattan for the whole summer, which was just a bus ride away from Dave's. So I was seeing people in Manhattan. I was making really good content while I was there. That's where Casey Neistat used to do his daily vlogs. He lives in Manhattan. There's just the hustle and bustle of the city gives you ambition. And then I was able to go see Dave. We went to Manchester together. I'm fast forwarding through so much here, but we went to Manchester. I was going on all these trips. And
were you going on the trips just as a friend of Dave, or
it was as a +1. They allowed a +1.
So when did when were they like, all right, James, we want you on board now with Gymshark? When was that?
Gymshark's very selective, so it took a lot of like, they would send me a package, and see what I did with it, see if I liked the stuff, see what kind of content I was making, and then it wasn't until a few months later in October 2019 that I was now a junior in college, and I was pretty disenchanted with school at this point. And then I get a call from Gymshark saying, hey, we want to fly you out to the UK to do a photo shoot with Lex, Anthony, and Dave. And I'm like, okay. And I just fucking left. Yeah. That's the infill stringer photo. And I just left. And I was so like, at this point, broken up with school mentally and hyper focused on fitness that I didn't even tell my professors. I just kind of like hopped on a flight and left. And
you told your parents though, yeah.
No, I didn't just disappear.
They were like, okay, go for it.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, go for it. And
holy shit,
I got back, and my accounting professor was like, you missed an exam. Like, you didn't even tell me that you were leaving or that you were going to miss an exam. And I'm like, she's like, what were you doing? And I was like, yeah, I had this thing in the UK, like this Gymshark. Like, I was trying to explain it. She's like, what are you talking about? Like, how are you going to make this up? And that was the point. When I was at the photo shoot, Gymshark was like, listen, you did a really good job at this photo shoot. We've liked the content that you've been making. We want to work with you. We're going to send you over a contract in the coming weeks. And that had been my dream for so long. And I got back to school and my accounting professor said that to me. And like, if that's not a sign from God or the universe or whatever, I don't know what is, but I packed my shit and I drove home, and my parents are like, hey, what are you doing here? And I'm like, come on guys, sit down. I want to talk to you. And I just explained everything to them, explained what I wanted to do, explained that this could actually work. And, talked for it only took 40 minutes or so, and they were like, okay, you can drop out.
Did Gymshark offer you money? Or
I was gonna say, what was that first initial contract?
Honestly, at this point, it wasn't even about the money. They didn't even, I can't really talk about the contract, but like, obviously they paid me, but there was like a trial period, and then they paid me, and
prove yourself. Let's see
what
you can do.
And but I didn't care about that. I was like, I'm on with Gymshark. I've made inroads. I'm making money from coaching. Right. I can make money from Gymshark.
So you were coaching.
Making money from YouTube. Yeah, just like writing programs. It was all very like putting in a lot of work, but still I was making money. And my parents are like, okay, you can live here and get on your own 2 feet and keep doing what you're doing. Okay. And yeah.
Shit.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. And how long were you at Gymshark for?
1 year.
1 year.
That's it.
Damn.
I think the first video I ever saw of yours,
Damn.
I think it was on your second channel. I think that was on James Spanish. You have a second YouTube channel, right?
No.
Really? Why did I think?
Wait, what did you see?
It was a video where you were talking about why you left Gymshark, and it had a little bit to do with like your opinions, not being able to share too much about how you thought about things.
I talked in that video about the posts that I had made on my Instagram account, James Spanish. I said I have another. I said I have another account called James Spanish, and I remember that I fucked up because everyone was asking what's his second YouTube account. And I'm like, no, I meant I have a second Instagram account called James Spanish, but everyone thought that I had a second YouTube account. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the reason I left was because of what you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where did you go right from Gymshark? Where did you go right from there? Sponsor wise?
Nowhere. I didn't, I personally didn't like the direction they were going as a company. The longer I stayed on, and I wasn't going to not share my views. And eventually they said it was quote unquote culturally not a good fit, which at that point didn't surprise me. And also at that point, it didn't really hurt me that they dropped me. I was kind of like, well, damn. Okay. And they dropped me, and I was like, not really sad about it. I was kind of just like, damn.
You kind of had like a bad taste in your mouth anyway. Like you wanted to get out.
Yeah, kind of. It's like I almost didn't have the balls to do it because it's like, how am I going to leave Gymshark?
Yeah.
Right.
But once they did the hard part for me, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So what came next? Was it Gorilla? Was it Young LA?
Gorilla was actually, that was early 2020. That was while I was with Gymshark.
Really?
Yeah. I think I was the first paid athlete by Gorilla. There's someone else, Ryan Russo said he was actually the first athlete. All I know is I remember Derek saying, Derek was trying to come up with a salary amount to give me because he was like, we haven't done this before. Do you think this is fair? So I think I was the first like paid salary athlete. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Correct me, Ryan.
You were there in the very beginning when no one really knew about Gorilla. So
yes.
How was that experience for you, like promoting a brand that was just
like
starting?
what made you even entertain it? Like who was Gorilla at the time?
I'd been watching More Plates, More Dates, Derek, since early 2019, and I had DM'd him, and to my surprise, he'd responded. And we had at this point, lots of conversations about like male improvement stuff, bodybuilding stuff. Like he was really informative and was actually giving me the time of day, even though at the point where I messaged him, I maybe only had like 20,000, maybe 10,000 followers when I first ever messaged him.
Okay.
And we had stayed in contact all throughout 2019. And then early 2020 or late 2019, he was like, hey, I'm, launching this pre-workout soon. It should be on X date, and you were the first person that came to mind. Do you mind if we send you some? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then shortly after they sent it to me, I tried it. I liked it. And he's like, okay, we haven't sponsored we haven't done a paid athlete thing. So do you want to be like a sponsored athlete? And I said, honestly, like the reason I did it is because
you fuck with Derek.
Is because I fuck with Derek. Yeah. And I didn't really care about whether or not it was a big company. I was thinking long-term here. Yeah. So I'm like, at the end of the day, what's going to win is going to be products that actually work, that have science backing them, not just like whatever's a big name.
Yeah.
So I decided to kind of take the risk on that, which in my head wasn't really a huge risk. And I had to come out with an IGTV video that was like 10 minutes long explaining, hey guys, I'm with this sponsor now. You haven't ever heard of them, but you will be hearing about them. Trust me, they're really good. And I kind of like shortly broke down some of the products and just said, the products are really good. I know that you don't know them. I know you haven't heard of them, but just take a leap of faith. Trust me on this one. And Gorilla went exponential, not because of that, but just for other reasons. All the athletes they got on, Gorilla just started going exponential, just like I figured it would. So
never to that scale though. Like, did you ever think it would be like what it is now when you started?
I knew that it would keep growing because I saw Derek's tenacity. I saw his work ethic, and it's like, well, if Derek's going to nonstop produce videos at that point for 4 years straight, and he's got a blog, I can tell what kind of guy he is.
And you really like the products. Like,
Yeah.
you're the guy who like breaks down formulas and stuff.
Yeah. So I really liked the products, and Derek he also really cared because when he sent me the products, he had my phone number, and he would send me like these 15-minute audios, like breaking down the products, like 5 to 15-minute audios. And I would be like, hey, what does this ingredient do? Why exactly does it work? Boom, 7-minute audio. Like, he didn't need to do that at all.
Yeah.
He could have just referred me to his product breakdown video, but he was like taking time out of his day to explain why the products were so good that I was just like, I mean, yeah, I'll sign with you 100%. You put in all this work into it.
Yeah.
So, but in terms of clothing sponsors, I didn't really even think about Young LA because I almost saw that as like, oh, that's like Sushi's thing. I don't want to like even intrude on that. But then Gary himself reached out to me, the owner, and was like, hey man, what the fuck? Like, come on. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
So you didn't have a sponsor at all. And
From Gymshark in October 2020 is when they dropped me to like March 2021. So like 5 months or so.
Yeah.
I did not have a clothing sponsor. It was just Gorilla for supplements. Yeah.
And when did the idea, this is really switching gears, but when did the idea for Vikal come in? Was it in that downtime? Or
No,
was it while you were at
Vikal
Gymshark?
was actually while I was with Gymshark.
Okay.
And Vikal, I don't want to like, this could be a long conversation, so I'll try to shorten it. While COVID was happening, beginning of 2020, just before it started happening, Oliver Forslund, who was someone in my friend group that I saw as equally as ambitious and like very business minded, I was like, hey bro, we should move in together. And he was like, yeah, that's a great idea. We could move it. We should go to LA. And I'm like, yeah, let's go to LA. We were plotting like all this content we were going to make. Hey, we should even make merch together, and it can be like combined merch, kind of like, remember Bros Versus with Dom Mazzetti and Brad? We could kind of have that idea, but it could be us two. You know what? We should put a brand name on it. And then we brainstormed some brand names, and I think my mom like helped me come up with like a mood board of names, and we essentially settled on Vikal because we wanted something that didn't have to do with like our names. We didn't want it to be like Oliver and James merch. We wanted it to be something that doesn't really mean anything on its own. Like Vikal is not actually a word, but we just got it literally from the words vitality and California, because we were thinking what kind of resembles us. Vitality, vital, young, ambitious, vitality. Okay. VI. And then where are we going to be living? California, Vikal. And,
That's dope. Did you know that?
so we had to,
Wow, that's really cool.
but then, but then it turned into, it went from merch into, once we decided to put a logo on it and put a brand name on it, it turned into a clothing company.
Yeah, like competition. to
Yeah,
Gymshark,
and so we had to run it by Gymshark. And at first they were like kind of cool with it. The guy that I spoke to, my athlete manager, was like, yeah, that should be fine. And then we paid for the manufacturing to be done of our first ever shipment, which was only 300 stringers. And by the time the stringers actually got to my house, that's when Gymshark had a problem with it. And they were like, actually, you can't sell these stringers because it's activewear. And I'm like, guys, I already ran this by you. But they're like, listen, recycle the stringers and we'll pay for them to be recycled. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna ignore that and hope you guys just fucking forget about that. Wow. So I
Throw your
did.
shit out. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they said they would pay for it to be recycled. And I'm like, what about what about all of the opportunity costs from all the time that I spent like finding the manufacturer, fitting it, all, etc. And they're like, yeah, sorry, basically. So I didn't throw out the stringers. It was during COVID. Yeah. I didn't end up throwing out the stringers. And luckily by the time they dropped me, I still had the stringers laying around from like months prior. So I'm like, finally I can actually launch these. So I did. And Oliver was still on Gymshark at the time. And I'm like, I'm not on Gymshark anymore. I'll drop the stringers. You can still take your half of the profit, but like I'm dropping the stringers. So I did. And then I convinced Oliver to leave Gymshark, and he did. It didn't take that long.
Didn't he drop that weekend when he was on Mockcast? Wasn't it that?
It was around then. Same time frame. Yeah. It didn't take too long. And that's basically the inception of Vikal right there.
Got it. Yeah. And you guys you had that 300 stringer drop And then you had more recently stringers, hoodies, shorts. Was that the second
And
drop?
yeah, stringers, t-shirts, hoodies, shorts.
And you sold the fuck out, right?
Very fast. So I haven't actually talked numbers because it's, I just feel like I shouldn't. But we sold $100,000 in 10 minutes when the Vikal drop went live. Now, that's not our money. I didn't make that because we had to pay back the actual to buy all the shit was like 60 something thousand, including shipping. So we had to pay back people that had invested into the company so that we could buy the initial order. Honestly, that was a pretty big risk because if people didn't buy that shit, we would have been in debt big time. Right. But the stringers are like everything. The only things that didn't sell out were things that were sized stupidly. So it's like no one was
3X stringer.
Like we had to kind of guesstimate what sizes people were going to be buying and what colors people were going to be buying. We didn't have any previous analytics to go off of, so we couldn't say we know that red stringers sell 31% of the time and blue stringers sell 22% of the time. We were just guessing like red is a cool color, maybe we should buy more of those, and like there's probably this many mediums, that's going to be the most common size, and then we'll do an equal amount of larges and smalls. But come to find out, people actually buy larges significantly more often than they buy smalls. So these are things that like the smalls ended up taking a long time to sell out. And then there were other things that like, oh, we only need maybe like, 50 XL hoodies because not many people are going to be buying XL, but it turns out like a lot of people buy XL hoodies. So they just sold out right away. So like, these are things that we learned the first drop that like, because we have that information now, the goal is to have everything sell out equally at the same time. Right. Because then if you have inventory just laying around, it's like just annoying. Right. Yeah. It's like, damn, we only sold like, okay, white shorts. People are not fucking with the white shorts. That's one thing. Really? Small white shorts. We could have ordered like 2 of those and they would still be in stock. But
they'd still be in stock.
Yeah. But like,
what's next for Vikal?
What's next? We already manufacturing's done and we already paid for shipping. So we did a restock of the first drop plus new colors. So it's going to be all the same items, but we just have 2 to 3 new colors of each piece. Colors, like I really wanted maroon shorts. So we have maroon shorts coming in. I just really like that color in shorts. So we paid half to be shipped by air. It's very expensive to ship by air, but we wanted a small restock immediately. We're paying the other half to be shipped by boat. So it's a little cheaper. And right now our biggest goal is finding reputable, fast manufacturers with good communication that know what they're doing. And like,
that's hard.
The first,
are you overseas? Is everything overseas?
Everything's overseas. Sure. Yeah. God damn. You good? You need this?
Here's some water.
You want to hit this?
Yeah. No, I need water, bro. I don't want to rip a vape.
No, this is breathable water.
I'm gonna air sip this.
All right. But yeah, what was I saying?
You're going to restock this. Really, you're doing half air, half boat.
Yeah, and this is just going to be new colors and and the same pieces. And then in the coming months, we will have new pieces coming out. Things that like the goal with Vikal was always, we don't want to have we don't want like new pieces every fucking week. I wanted a company where I made clothes that I personally, James English, want to wear, and I'm letting everyone else wear them too. So it's like if I wouldn't wear it, I don't want to sell it.
Does Gary have an issue with Vikal?
No, right? And that's why I fuck with Young LA so much. Because I just need to take a second. Gary helped me so fucking much getting my Instagram account back, and it wasn't just because he was losing money. He actually cared, and he probably called me like 15 times between when my account, like he called me every day, seeing if there was any new updates, seeing the progress on things, reaching out to people on his own, trying to get my account back. And it wasn't just like, honestly, I could not be on Young LA and he would still make a shit ton of money. He wasn't losing all that much money from me. He just wanted my account to get back. And he also doesn't have a problem with Vikal. Now, granted, Vikal is mainly going to be more activewear stuff and Young LA is more streetwear. So like, it's not really like that close competition, but regardless, the fact that he doesn't have an issue with it is like pretty big. Yeah, I feel like he's not really like a lot of people when they get to that position, they're so greedy that they're like, if we're losing out on $1 because of your brand, we don't want your brand to be around. But with him, he's like, yo, I'm rich, bro.
Yeah.
Like, do what you want. I want you to come up too.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
party with me.
It's like family, bro.
Yeah.
Like if you're going through something, that means he's going through something because you're
no,
part
but
of the
he
Young Life
actually
family.
cared. And then, like, he texted me randomly today and he's like, you have no idea how much of a relief it is to be able to open Instagram and see that your page is back. Like, it's such a
probably
weight
needs
off
that
my
shit,
shoulders.
bro. That's
He
crazy.
does.
Yeah.
He's really like, I've never gotten like skeevy, snaky vibes from Gary at all. Like,
out
just
Gary.
the opposite.
Shout out Gary.
Yeah. Shout out Gary.
I feel like that what happened to you is kind of a blessing in disguise. You have more appreciation for your platforms, for your followers, for the fact that you're able to wake up and promote whatever you want, and all these people get to see it.
Yeah. Like, on one hand, it was scary thinking that it can all be gone in a blip. But on the other hand, it showed me that, like, no matter what happens to my social medias, people don't just follow me because I have a lot of followers.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to come over to my other account. And, like, the core followers, that's really who I care about.
Yeah.
They're going to come over. Like, yeah, obviously I care about the casual followers too, but, like, who I'm going to take time out of my day to talk to on Discord is not like people who just follow me because they like my abs and don't really know a fucking thing about me.
People
But
who engage with your content.
Exactly.
Comment,
And-
use your code.
bro, I posted like maybe the 6th or 7th picture, maybe even less, that I posted on James Italian got like 11,000 likes or something on its own. Didn't hit explore, nothing like that. That's like, average picture on my main account would get like 15, 16,000.
So
So this was getting like,
those are your true like diehard fans. who,
Yeah.
like, really support everything you do, and you make a new account, they're gonna follow right away.
yeah, exactly. And like, I make a Discord and like thousands of people hop in that, and like Snapchat, tens of thousands of people on that too. So I was like, damn, like, it was a blessing in disguise in the sense that it showed me that, like, I'm not just I'm not just like my follower count. Like, I actually have all these people that fuck with me for me, that will like want to see me succeed and will follow me on a new account. If I make a new account, if my main gets deleted, that's not the end of me.
And Gary,
You know?
like, it's a whole new appreciation for him, and
Oh, yeah.
it shows you how much he
100%.
cares.
Yeah, 100%. Gary definitely.
Shout out Gary.
I know. Shout out
Gary's a
Gary
fucking
again.
man. Where we at?
Like an hour 5.
105.
So
Let's talk about. I don't want to not talk about your prep, right?
yeah, for sure.
So, what made you
How-
finally
how-
pull the trigger and do a fucking commit to a prep?
Yo, Gianna could get in on this talk actually.
this is your
you can come sit next to me in a second here, but
this is your first.
yeah, this she can talk about how I've been on prep because she can probably do a better job than I can. But yeah,
This
this
is the deepest you've been.
yeah
prep.
yeah this
Like,
is
actually committing.
This is the first time I've ever done a bodybuilding show, and I'm 4 weeks and 2 days out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 weeks and 3 days, something like that.
Wow.
And
It's crunch time right now.
yeah, I'm hungry. Yeah, so I wouldn't even say proper. I mean, it was a proper cut, but I did it kind of stupidly. Was when I did a trip to Mexico with the boys in like 1 year ago almost.
You got shredded for vacation.
Yeah.
So this is the lean.
But I only cut for like 6 weeks.
Yeah. And that was
you
no
know?
coach. That was just you.
That was no coach, exactly. And that was just me like, oh, I'll get low calorie bread and then I'll just like, I'll have egg whites instead of eggs.
I mean, your appetite, or you're not that hungry most of the time, right? Like,
No,
your appetite's not huge.
the biggest thing on prep has been my cravings more so than my hunger.
Okay.
My hunger really only hit hard maybe 2 or 3 days so far. And it was really bad yesterday because yesterday was an off day. It was a rest day. So I had like 75 grams of carbs and like 30 grams of fat. And the rest
all
was
day.
protein.
Yeah.
So I think I had total 1,700 calories yesterday. And yesterday was tough. I tried getting through it without any like stimulants or anything like that. But yesterday was tough. But then on the training days, I prefer them because I can actually eat.
Yeah.
But the cravings suck. Like that's
What are you
the part.
craving the most right now?
Savory stuff, not really sweets. I look at sweets for sure, but mainly fat stuff. If I were to walk by and see something like Jolly Ranchers or like Swedish Fish, I wouldn't really care about things that are pure sugar. But when I walk by and see like a really fatty donut,
like a burger or like
a burger too, whether it's sweet or savory, as long as it's got fat in it, I think my body is craving like that the calorie density.
You're
You know,
on 30 fat.
On a training day, it might be a little more,
That's fucking.
but I'm pretty sure.
poverty, bro.
Yesterday, it's about. I like kind of calculated it to around 30 to 35 fat.
Damn.
So
bro, like, I don't even think I've never gone below like insane. 40 on my preps ever. Like because your fat is your hormone control. Like that's how you fuck
I think
yourself
hormone control is taken care of on my part.
Right. Yeah, I mean, fuck. So 4 weeks and no foreseeable like refeeds and stuff anymore. Like you're gonna have to.
Yeah, no, I'm out of 4 weeks. The last refeed I had was when all you guys came out, and it was just sushi, and it was the best thing I've ever put in my mouth. Like it was literally tasted so good. Yo,
no, it definitely gives you a good appreciation, like a much different and deeper appreciation for food. Like when you're done with this prep, you're gonna look at a donut like never before.
I know, and I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to kind of eat like 80% meal plan, 20% cheat foods when I'm bulking. Because the prep has definitely helped with my like digestion is way better. My skin is cleared up. Like my face is way less bloated. My body is way less bloated. I don't, splatter paint the toilet every time I shit. Like these are all things that are good. And when I was bulking, it was like, the Chick-fil-A would just like fester. It would just like marinate in the stomach like a slow cooker.
Bulking gets old quick. Like you don't even want to. You're like, I don't even want to cheat anymore. I don't even want to.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you already know that you want to do another show after this? I mean,
probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. Okay. I think the results of the show will determine it. If the judges are like, for whatever reason, like you have shit genetics and you can't make it far in this sport.
James English, you guys.
I don't think anyone is.
No, but let's say they say like whatever they say.
Crack.
Your head's too big, your neck is too big. Like you're never gonna shrink your neck, and it makes your proportions look off. Then maybe I'll reconsider. But if the judges say like you have really good potential, and if you just put some size on like your calves and your quads, which I need, then you can go really far. Then I'll do another prep.
Would you want to step on like the Olympia stage? Like seriously?
Yes.
Fuck. Well,
I like
it's manifested.
I like being obsessed with whatever I'm going after.
Yeah. I
like being obsessed with it.
That's actually a question that I wanted to ask you when you were talking about CS and talking about how like it was that over stimulation of intel. Like what are you doing right now that's kind of
stimulating
doing that for you to the point where like you're exhausted? Like I feel like what you're like I don't know personally, but the lifestyle that you're living most likely can be as cushy as you want it to be. So how do you get that stimulation aside from recreational drug use? As he hits the next day.
I don't take rec drugs really at all.
That's a rec drug right there.
Yeah, but I mean nicotine, bro. Nicotine I throw in with caffeine.
Sure.
Something like that.
So yeah, what do you get that?
Right now it is it's something about like being hungry, even though it's obviously not a good feeling. I almost like being hungry because it proves to my, like when I'm full, let's say I have a cheat meal, which I don't do, but if I were to have a cheat meal, like I would feel down in the dumps about it. But when I'm hungry all the time, like physically hungry, it's almost like it's a constant reminder that I'm working towards a goal. Yeah. And it's a constant reminder that like
it's just discipline, bro.
You feels good to be disciplined.
You enjoy challenging yourself, and when you feel that hunger, it's like, I'm fucking doing it. Like right now, I'm going through it right now, but I love it.
Yeah, and it's like the only problem is with me that whatever I tend to get obsessed about usually takes over my life, and to the point where I don't like. I shaved my face for this podcast. It's been the first time I've shaved in a hot minute.
Wow,
and like I wasn't. So you're welcome. And like my room is messier because all I do. I mean, I'm having 6 meals a day, and I'm also training like 2+ hours, and then I do 40 minutes of cardio. Yeah. So it's like a lot of my day at this point is revolving around getting food ready / eating the food / cleaning up after myself, and then getting the next meal ready. Yeah. So it's like. You can only do that so much in the day, like that until it kind of becomes the only thing that you focus on. Yeah. And it's like, on one hand, I don't like that feeling, but on the other hand, I kind of do.
Yeah, it's not. Right now, you're obsessed with like bettering yourself. Like you're doing things that are leading you to like a really like positive goal, which is doing a bodybuilding show. But have you seen? Because I know Mantello talks about this all the time. Like when he started his prep, his content changed? Like, are you more driven now to do content? Are you getting good feedback for the prep series and all that?
Yeah. I mean, I told Kenny, I want to do a video every other day, and I might even switch it to every other day.
It's a lot easier, I feel like, because every day something's changing.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it is.
even though it is kind of like a routine and it's kind of, I guess, boring, people like to see the process and what you're going through and what changes every week.
Yeah, like I still try to incorporate vlog stuff into my content. I don't want it to just be prep, but I know that when I'm like probably just in another week here, when I'm 3 weeks out, it's probably just going to be prep because like I already have noticed in some of my videos, like right now I'm good for some reason. I don't really have prep brain, but in some of my vlogs or training footage, I just don't have shit to say. Yeah. And I'll pass off, like I was training with Joe Riser Fit, and I just didn't have shit to say. I just didn't, my brain wasn't working. I didn't care. I just wanted to train. I was trying to like be engaging for the camera, but then I would kind of just pass stuff off to Riser and be like, so what do you think about this? You do the talking. Yeah. And I would just kind of be training. So
that's normal.
Yeah, it's normal. It kind of like, that's the only part that kind of sucks because it's like, I want my brain to work, but it just won't. It's just thinking about food all the time now. Yeah. Like I said, it's not really even hunger. It's just like burgers and stuff. Yeah.
But your followers understand that. Like prep brain is part of the process.
Are you watching food videos on YouTube yet?
Not yet. I haven't gotten to that point. I honestly don't.
No one's like Weston. Weston's like
but watching like competitive eaters and shit. I feel like everyone goes through that a little bit.
I don't think that I will because it would just make me want to cheat. Yeah. You know, like even when I walk past like food in Kroger, it'll be like, you know, a box of donuts or like a chocolate cake, and I'll want it so bad, and that's not a good feeling. Like I want to almost keep that out of my mind and just go right to the meat section, get the meat I need, get the rice I need, get the premier proteins, and leave. And
I say you're like one more week away from like not even giving a fuck. Cause you're so close. You're like, I don't even want like, fuck that. Like, fuck that. Like if someone even like, come on, have one piece. Like no, I'm good.
2.5, 3 weeks.
Yeah. You literally stop caring.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of already at that point. Like, I'm not going to lie, up until maybe just a couple weeks ago, I would have like a rice cake here or there just because I was hungry and I wanted like something savory. So I'd have like a barbecue rice cake. But then I would like
barbecue rice cake,
whatever, you know. I like the savory. No, I like the savory rice cakes. Yeah. I got the sweet and spicy one, but then I would like subtract those carbs from the next meal because I'd be like, oh well, the macros for the day can't be different, so I need to subtract 8 carb from the next meal.
50 calorie.
But now I don't really even do that anymore because it's almost like I just don't. I like see it in the pantry and I'm like, no, I don't want to cheat myself like that. Even if I do remove the 8 carbs from the next meal.
Dude, you're working so hard. You're investing in a coach, buying food and all this, that. Like, it's like you're cheating yourself. You're only fucking yourself. Yeah.
Is this the best you've ever looked, you think?
Yeah. I think that like I'm really trusting the process right now because my carbs are pretty low. So I'm kind of flat. But I know that like all that really matters is how you look on show day. And right now I would say that like how I look is probably the best I've ever looked, but it's still kind of at that in-between stage where you've lost fullness because you're flat from no carbs, but you haven't lost the fat yet. Yeah. So you're kind of just like a little leaner, but like flat. Yeah.
It's also your first show. So you're kind of still learning your body. Like, there's guys like Alex Toplin. I know like 2 weeks out, 1 week out, and then staged completely different look. Right. Like it looks like a different person.
And that's all that really matters is like, as long as the fat comes off, I know that once it's show day and I carb up, I'll look full and lean. And
dude, then, I cannot wait. Oh my God.
That'll be fire.
I'm bringing is Dave coming?
Dave, I doubt it.
Come on. You got to invite
Dave,
him.
if you
I'll invite him. I haven't invited him, but I mean,
the fucking Pocket 8K, whatever the hell that thing is that he uses.
The what?
The 8K camera, 6K, the Black Magic.
Oh yeah? Does he have a Black Magic camera now? Bro, he got an Arri Alexa. He's got Black Magic.
Dude, I fucking love Dave.
Jump on live?
Yeah, we're gonna hop on live. We let someone join and they get to ask you a question.
Okay.
On live.
Damn. Is there anything? I mean, right before we bring anyone on, is there anything that you want to talk about? Bring up questions you want to ask?
Mike, you good?
Anything specifically?
Well, it's kind of up to them, right?
No, not up to them. I mean, like you, like before we bring somebody on, like, is there anything you want to talk about on the pod while you have it?
LSD.
Yeah, can we talk about ass a little more? Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
Now you do whatever you want to do.
No, I mean we covered a lot of the. I'm starting to think about food now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
this was good.
Me too.
Oh, how about you say like what's next? Like let's leave it at that. Like what's next?
No, we can do the live thing for sure.
No, we're gonna do it. But what's next for James English? What's next?
After the show.
After the show, honestly, I just am thinking about the show right now. What's next after the show? I want to travel a bit, but I definitely want to keep taking bodybuilding seriously. I want to keep growing Vikal. There's not anything new or different that I want to do because like I just want to continue doing the stuff that I'm doing and keep growing it, especially Vikal.
Yeah.
Because there's been so many headaches with that where it's like, you know, just like I said, I'm trying to get manufacturing now, and we've got like 4 or 5 different manufacturers that we're like reaching out to and coordinating, but it's only a team of 3 people. And like me and Oliver both have our own things that we're doing on the side. So a lot of it like comes down to Sam as well. And he's got stuff that he's doing as well. So it's like, we don't really have the money to hire another manager.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know?
right. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that people don't realize when you're talking about like starting your own brand like this, you sink a shit ton of money in just getting the product there.
Yeah.
Never mind sell it. Like, yeah, it's awesome that you sold 100K, but like, yeah, people don't realize, hey, but it cost you just made 5,000, right?
More than 100. I was just saying in the first 10 minutes, there's actually a video of it, of us sitting in front of the Shopify,
really?
And we were just, it refreshes automatically. And it hit, as soon as it hit 10 minutes, it hit 100K. That's crazy. It was insane.
Were you guys together?
Yeah, we were all crowded around the computer, and
cool.
It was just.
How was that? As like a feeling? Can you
it was basically, yo, what's good? How's everyone doing? It was basically like the first, within the first like 2 minutes. Just got done milking cows. Like the first 2 minutes, we were unsure how this was gonna go. Maybe even only the first 1 minute. And then after the first minute, I think we broke like 10K in sales in the first minute. And we were like, okay, this is going to do really well.
Yeah.
And then it was just seeing like, okay, how long until this dies down? But after we broke even, I was like, all right, well, anything from here is good news.
Yeah.
And then it just kept going and going and going and going and going. So we had some issues with our fulfillment and distribution center. So we canned them. We're just going to do it on our own now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be at the warehouse a lot.
If you need help with that, let me know, bro.
All right, I will.
James the boss.
For
real.
All right, here we go.
All right, what we got?
Who we got?
Do people know? We didn't advertise that Jam was coming on.
No, I didn't. I put a story up.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, like right before we started. Oh, this shit's so good.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, honestly, I freaking like
He's
0
the lucky
calorie
guy.
drinks. Such a lifesaver.
31 people. Cool. Yo, what's up, dude? Oh shit, bad connection. I'm on the Wi-Fi.
That's probably it. Yeah, get off the Wi-Fi. Bring up to the mic. And also, if it's an outrageous question, you don't have to answer it.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, we'll just hang up.
All right.
Oh, there we are. Where you from? What's your name? Where you from?
Oh shit, it's bad connection.
You hear me, bro?
Hey, fix your Wi-Fi, G. Nah, he can't hear you.
He's fumbling.
No, he just fumbled.
Minnesota.
I
just got done milking cows.
Nah, he's fumbling.
He's fumbling.
He's fumbling it.
Hold on.
Can you hear?
Nah, your connection, bro. It's totally our connection.
Did you just exit out?
How do I?
It's funny because it's actually our connection.
Yeah.
No, we're good. We're good.
Give him another shot.
You good, bro?
Yeah, you good, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. I had to get
You just went outside.
You got the connection. Yo, show him the table, bro. When you can show him your nose hairs, bro.
You got one question for James English.
All right.
The
First
floor
of all,
is yours,
I just wanna
bro.
Say thank you guys for Legacy and Mogcast. I listen all the time. Every time I'm milking cows, it's sweet. Thank you guys.
That's awesome.
No, I'm not. And okay, I want to know your worst hookup story, if that's appropriate for Legacy.
My worst hookup story.
Yeah.
Gianna, get out of here.
Yeah, Gianna, close your ears. Hold on, let me think.
Run.
I mean, worst sex story would probably be more entertaining than worst hookup story. Let me think. Oh, jeez.
It's not about a cow, is it?
It's luckily not about a cow. I'm trying to think. Fuck. I feel like I don't really have any bad ones. Like,
that's
not
an answer
bad,
right there. Fuck
but
yeah.
like kind of like funny, I guess, but not like bad. Revise your question.
Fuck.
That was it, bro. That's what he had. You do funny. Just answer funny then.
Yeah, a funny hookup story. Just quick, funny.
Quick.
That was
Okay, can it be not a hookup, but actually with an ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, it can be.
Okay. Well, it was my first girlfriend, and her parents were like really conservative and Christian, and they didn't like, the idea of her daughter getting fondled by some dude. So they she had a very creaky bed. I shouldn't really need to say more than that. So both her parents were home, and it was snowy. So they owned a lot of land. So we took these, what do they call? Why am I not thinking of the word? The fucking things you ride on in the snow.
snowmobile.
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 Yeah, bro, prep brain, okay? So we took snowmobiles out, and for some reason, we just wanted top tier precaution. So we took snowmobiles out probably a mile and a half away from her house, which was still on her property, and set up like a blanket that we brought in a bag on the snow. And then we had sex on the blanket, and it was like probably 30 degrees out. And then we snowmobiled back.
That's crazy.
Why haven't you said that in Mog, bro? That's funny.
I'm pretty sure I have, bro. You just haven't been listening.
Where she had conservative parents.
Does he have a filter on, bro?
Yo, do you have the wait? Hold up. Do you have the Giga Chad filter on right now?
Yeah, bro. Like Lex.
All right, man.
We're based. We're based out here. We're based.
We're based out here.
All right, bro.
I'm gonna get a milk in the morning.
All right.
All right.
Don't be serious, bro.
No, I swear, bro.
All right, man. Have fun milking. Send me a DM on this account of you milking tomorrow. I really want to see it. All right, bro. Good night.
Yo, send me a milking video, bro.
That was preposterous.
In Minnesota, yeah, there's cows out there, right?
Bro,
There's definitely cows out there.
Yeah. All right.
That's wow. I don't even think I have a follow up for that. That's
Wait,
pretty
bro.
wild.
I have to. How did you get hard in 30-degree weather?
I was like
30's
16, bro. I was 16 or 17. That's how I got hard. I was like, yo, pussy, let's go.
Yeah, 16.
On that note, guys, this has been a pleasure to have you, man.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, thank
for
you.
coming
Pleasure,
on.
James.
Honestly.
Yeah,
for
thank
coming,
you,
bro.
bro.
Much
Thank
love,
you.
bro.
What do we do?
I don't know. Yo, it's been a pleasure, guys.
All this time about food and milking cows got the boys feeling weird.
Yeah, and LSD.
Yeah.
Can we talk about this more?
Yeah, we're about to do LSD after this, actually. We'll let you guys know. That's
Yeah.
on the next episode. Actually, are you allowed to do drugs on podcasts and shit?
I'm just not gonna do LSD regardless,
All
like
right,
pot
cool.
or not.
Yeah.
I
Thanks,
don't
guys, for
think you
tuning
can.
in. We'll,
You just can't put it in your mouth on the podcast, but you can just say I'm on LSD. Like, what are they gonna do? Bust your door in?
I'll do a shroom pod.
All right, bet.
Yeah, that'd be
next
funny.
pod with Jam, we're gonna be fucked up. Thanks for
And I'm
watching.
gonna be
We're
a-
gonna see you guys on episode 11. We don't
Yeah.
know who that is yet, but we're gonna do that
Yeah, look out for if you made it this far. We'll probably be dropping the merch soon. So
very soon. Yeah, that's a good
Drop
point.
some
Thank you
t-shirts.
guys so
And if
much
you
for
made
the
it this
support.
far, drop a comment and like the video. Come on now.
yeah,
Man,
And
thanks,
subscribe.
man. Appreciate it.
Let's go.
and sub to Jam.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
follow
And
us.
all of his backups. James Portugal, James Spain.
Yeah,
James
James
fucking-
Portuguese is
Yeah.
actually another backup I made. We got James Italian, James Portuguese, James English. James Spanish is gone, unfortunately, but
Shout out James Spanish.
That's it,
Yeah,
guys.
really.
We'll see you in the next one.
peace out.
Peace.
Peace. What was that?
Yo, the milk.